Well, another week of football is in the books, and unfortunately, the New York Giants lost their Week 1 opener. What a surprise, right? But we still have just another video for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Giants game, kind of to review it. We have the film study yet to come out. That's just because NFL Game Pass, for whatever reason, is telling me that it's unavailable. Everybody has it except me. You know, it's not a surprise. I'm tired of this, man. So I'm just gonna calm down and just wait patiently for the All 22 film to come out so I can give you guys the content you so greatly deserve. Let's roll the intro. So today's video is going to be brought to you guys from FTFN. Make sure you guys hit the link in the description below. Subscribe to FTFN's YouTube channel, as we are on every Thursday night, every Sunday morning to preview the games. I'll have my own segment to talk about the Giants there every Thursday, Sunday, Monday, whenever we decide to do it. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a live stream and never miss a video from FTFN. Also, our website, ftfn.com, we also have articles on there. We have a special Giants page run by me, so make sure you guys go support there as well. So today we are going to be previewing the New York Giants at Chicago Bears. Now, this is going to be a lot easier of a matchup than last week. Pittsburgh is coming out as one of the best defenses in the NFL. Everybody's talking about them as a top 3 team in the AFC this year. Maybe that's because the Giants suck and they put up a good show against the Giants and it made the Steelers look good, but maybe the Steelers are actually good. So, we have the Chicago Bears this week. We're talking about an offense ran by Mitchell Trubisky and not a very strong offensive line. Yes, they were able to run the ball pretty decently last week, but I feel like it was because of Detroit's weak D-line, in the middle, and that's why Tariq Cohen, small little Tariq Cohen, was able to run in between the tackles and, make money that way. I don't think that is going to happen at all with the New York Giants, as their strong point is in the interior. I don't envision Chicago winning against the Giants as they did against Detroit. We're going to get into all the statistics right now. Now, Chicago did run all over Detroit, and Detroit did run all over Chicago. It was a very good game as far as the run game goes. Chicago ran for 149 yards with 4.9 yards per carry against Detroit. Now, Chicago's defense allowed 138 yards versus the run, and that's 4.9 yards per carry. So they were allowing a lot on the run. Now, as far as statistically goes for the Giants, they allowed a lot on the run too, but it was towards the end of the game the defense was gassed. When it came to the Chicago Bears, they allowed against the run all game, and to an old man Adrian Peterson. Don't get me wrong, Adrian Peterson's great, but if you watch the game, Adrian just had nothing to do with it. The holes were just opening up through the middle. If you talk about this Detroit defense, this Chicago defense, it's not as good as a lot of people think it is. They're pretty strong in the secondary, not very good up front, even though they have guys like Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, guys like that. It's not very strong up front. And don't let Mitchell Trubisky's stats against Detroit fool you. If you look in the past, 5 games in which, I think Detroit is 0-5 against the Chicago Bears. Chicago just has been killing them lately. They might sweep them this year again, who knows. But Chicago and Mitchell Trubisky, more importantly, just balls out against Detroit. I don't know what it is, but they just ball out against Detroit, especially Mitchell Trubisky. This was no different. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. This is why people were starting Mitchell Trubisky in fantasy against Detroit. So, I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. I'm not going to sit here thinking that Mitchell Trubisky turned the corner. It's just Detroit. He plays well against Detroit. It's something about the uniform. I don't know. And the Giants are coming off a very heartbreaking loss, but a very expected loss. As I believed, I said it in my preview video against the Steelers. I thought the Giants were going to lose 27-17. They lost 26-16. It's not too far off of what I predicted. We had a lot of positives and a lot of negatives. And, we are a rebuilding team. You're just going to have to take it. So let's get on to the injury report. Let's start off with the Chicago Bears first. We've got Ted Ginn and Jimmy Graham on a non-injury resting for the veterans. So basically, they're really old, okay? They're really old. They got to be treated like an old person, like grandpas out there. Jimmy Graham and Ted Ginn, they've been in the NFL for God knows how long. So Jimmy Graham, they're full participants on Thursday. However, they just did not practice on Wednesday. They took off a rest day there. Robert Quinn with an ankle injury. He is limited participant. He also missed the game last week against the Lions, so who knows if he misses the game this week. Khalil Mack has a knee injury. It seemed like he wasn't on point when, last week. He just wasn't much of a factor last week as I was watching the game. He just didn't seem like too much of a factor as up to Khalil Mack's standards. And Akeem Hicks with an illness did not practice, so who knows, we may not even see him on Sunday. As far as the Giants goes, we are still relatively healthy. Golden Tate remains out right now. I think he's out until further notice. He was supposed to be day to day. I guess apparently it's automatically week to week now. If he missed one game and potentially will miss another game, he might be week to week here. Golden Tate on the hamstring injury. Tate Crowder on an injury as well. He's been on the injury report last week as well, but I don't think he played though. He's still a full participant. And Adrian Colbert, he played last week anyway. Carter Coughlin shows up as a new guy on the injury report with a hamstring injury. He did not practice on Wednesday, was a limited participant on Thursday. I'm not too worried if he plays or not on Sunday. So not too many notable names besides Golden Tate on the injury report. So the Giants seem relatively healthy, while the Chicago Bears might potentially be missing out on 2 of their pass rushers, and who knows about Akeem Hicks. Maybe that's 3 of their pass rushers. Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen as far as that goes. But they may be without 3 of their pass rushers. So let's get on to the 3 keys to success. As you guys know, these 3 keys to success are both vital to the Giants' success and vital to their failure. It all depends if they want to listen to me. Let's get started. The first one, excessive running in between the tackles. Now, you look at Chicago as far as they're the middle of their defense. It seems like they have a weak point there without Hakeem Nicks. And if you look at Detroit of how they made their money on the ground, they were able to ground and pound between the tackles. That's how they were able to get things done. DeAndre Swift, in the limited time he played running the ball, that touchdown in between the tackles. Adrian Peterson didn't even need to do anything. He just ran right between the middle, and the offensive line was opening holes for them. So it's apparent that the interior of the defensive line seems to be a weak point versus the run for the Chicago Bears. Let's run in between the tackles. Let's stop bouncing it outside. As we all know, Saquon did not do a good job bouncing it outside last week. Let's run in between the tackles. Let's get Nick Gates. Let's get Hernandez. Let's get Zeitler. Let's get them pushing up front, and let's get Saquon the ball. Our second key to success, defend the middle of the field on defense. You guys heard the memes all around the NFL world about how much Chicago loves their tight ends. They're drafting tight ends, they're signing tight ends. Everybody they got is a tight end, right? That should scare you as a Giants fan. It's all fun and games until you play the Giants, because as Giants fans, we know tight ends have killed us in the past. Even just regular old tight ends, they kill us in the past. Through the middle, and it was no different last week as Juju Smith was able to run freely through the middle. We had Eric Ebron make a nice play in the red zone up the middle. So we have to get these guys, Blake Martinez, we have to get these guys, Devontae Downs, whoever's playing the middle safety in a cover 3 or cover 1 situation. We have to make sure we defend that middle of the field, because it's been a weak point for the Giants for years, and it was no different last week. These tight ends will scare you. Jimmy Graham is still a threat, okay? So defend the middle of the field. And as we get into our third key to success is keep up with the versatility on the field. We have a lot of versatility when it comes to the Chicago Bears. We have some speed, we have some power. David Montgomery is known as a power back, can run in between the tackles, and has been known to balance it outside and catch the football out the backfield. You look at Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen is like a Darren Sproles type guy. Very good returner, very good speedster, catches the ball at the backfield, really good slot receiver as well. He's very versatile. Cordero Patterson is, as you guys know, a former first-round pick at wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. He's been playing running back for the past couple of weeks, especially in week 1. He took some running back snaps. So there's a lot of versatility on this team. You look at the wide receiver position. Also, Cordero Patterson may be playing some wide receiver. Who knows? And then you got Anthony Miller, Allen Robinson. These guys can beat you, when it comes to just with pure hands or just beat you stretching the field. There's a lot of versatility when it comes to this offense that the Giants need to be mindful of. Keep up with the versatility. Do not think that these guys are just one-trick ponies. They're not. They're able to do multiple of things, and they're able to, score points in multiple ways. So make sure we always keep up with the versatility. All right, so let's go to our roster comparison. Let's throw the screen up and let's get started. All right, so at the quarterback position, yes, I know Mitch Trubisky had a 3-touchdown day, but I said I'm taking that with a grain of salt. He always destroys the Detroit Lions. I'm going to take the Giants here. I'm going to take the edge Giants. Daniel Jones, in my opinion, is much better than Mitch Trubisky already in his career. I have to take the Giants. Not biased, just got to do it. Next up, the running back position. I'm going to have to take Saquon anyway. I know David Montgomery and guys like that, they ran for 149 yards on the ground, which is very good. But I still believe in Saquon, and I believe he's going to destroy the Chicago Bears up the middle this week. Let's move on to the wide receivers. The wide receivers, I'm going to take the New York Giants. Darius Slayton has proved to be in sync with Daniel Jones, and Allen Robinson, who is Chicago's #1 wide receiver, is not in sync with Mitch Trubisky as he wants out of Chicago. And they just looked off. They just looked really off, and had a lot of miscommunication versus Detroit. A lot of wrong routes run, and there was a lot of things that were Allen Robinson's fault as well. So you look at the second wide receiver on the team is Anthony Miller. He's okay. And then Javon Wims, he's their third wide receiver. Not a big fan. Riley Ridley surprises me as a 4th-round pick last year. Calvin Ridley's little brother, he needs to get more reps. Hopefully not against the Giants, but yeah. All right, we have the tight end position. I'm going to have to give it to the Chicago Bears. They did focus on the tight end position for a reason. You better hope, as a Chicago fan, any Chicago fans watching this, you better hope that they have an edge at tight end, whoever they play. But Jimmy Graham, I don't think too much highly of him, but their depth is very good. Cole Kmet, their 2nd-round pick last year, I think highly of him. And Demetrius Harris, who's a former Kansas City Chief who did a very good job in Kansas City. I like him a lot, and he's the 3rd tight end on the roster. So very good tight ends. Their edge goes to Chicago. To finish up the offense, we have the offensive line. Now, the Giants did a very good job in pass protection, but their run blocking was absolutely terrible. But I'm going to have to probably take the Giants offensive line anyway. And this is the 2nd week in a row, I believe, that I'm going to take the Giants offense. I think I may have taken Pittsburgh's offensive line last week, but the Giants offensive line, I think, is a little better than this offensive line here. All right, let's go to that defensive front. The interior, like I said in my past video, it's going to be very hard for me to give an edge to an opposing team in the interior defensive line when it comes to Leonard Williams, Dalvin Thompson, and Dexter Lawrence. These guys are the absolute trio, and they showed it last week, dominating that Pittsburgh offensive line. So I have to give the edge to the Giants. All right, let's go to the edge rushers. Khalil Mack and Barkevious Mingo, along with Robert Quinn, who might not even be in this game. And so I'm going to have to give the edge. Obviously, the edge goes to Chicago there with Khalil Mack and Barkevious Mingo. Those are a pretty good duo there. Robert Quinn may not play, so as far as depth goes, it probably won't be great. But, the 2 starters are better than the 2 starters we have, so automatic edge goes to Chicago. We next move on to the off-ball linebackers, the inside linebackers, Danny Trevathan and Roquan Smith. These guys are a very good duo. I like Danny Trevathan from his Bronco days, and Roquan Smith I really loved out of Georgia. Listen, this is going to be a hard one because Blake Martinez and Devontae Downs played phenomenal last week. But just because of the reputation that Danny Trevathan and Roquan Smith have, I'm going to have to give the edge to Chicago. They have a good duo there at inside linebacker. We then move on to the cornerback spot. Jalen Johnson, the 2nd-round pick in this year's draft, along with Kyle Fuller as the starters, and Buster Screen still there. That's a pretty good trio there at cornerback. Going to have to give the edge to the Chicago Bears there. Listen, James Bradbury was very inconsistent, made some good plays last week, but also made some bad plays as well. Darnay Holmes seemed to struggle last week as well, who we thought highly of coming into this season, and also Corey Ballentine struggled as well. Have to give the edge to the Chicago Bears. Next up, we have the safety position. Although Jabril Peppers played phenomenal last week, it seems like Logan Ryan and Julian Love didn't pick up the slack very well. Tashawn Gibson and Eddie Jackson, these are Eddie Jackson, one of the best safeties in the league, and Tashawn Gibson once was one of the best safeties in the league. So, that being said, got to give the edge. And also, they still have Sherrick McManus there, Deion Bush. A lot of good depth there at safety. Got to give the edge to the Chicago Bears. So that's what I have for you guys when it comes to the roster comparison. As you guys can see, there's a lot of edges for the Giants in the offense, tons of edges for the Chicago defense. This is going to be a really good game. Another good matchup, another good test for the Giants. I think that the Giants will overcome that, and I think they will win this game. The spread is another 5.5 point spread underdog for the Giants. I believe this time the Giants are going to cover that spread and win the game 23-17. I expect Mitch Trubisky to make some mistakes against this defensive front. I never thought I'd ever say that. I never thought I'd ever say that this defensive front is probably going to shake up a quarterback, but I think it is. Lorenzo Carter's coming off a fantastic game. He didn't get a sack, but he was all over Pittsburgh's offensive line and all over Big Ben's face. And Lorenzo Carter ranked top 10 as an edge rusher according to PFF. Take what you want with that. It's PFF, but I mean, he's getting recognized. So, and then on top of that, Dexter Lawrence showed out, Leonard Williams showed out, Dalvin Tomlinson showed out. I mean, all of these guys are doing well up front, and the front seven as a whole is doing great. I think they're going to rattle Mitch Trubisky, get him nervous, and make him, go back to being Mitch Trubisky and making those mistakes, throwing those boneheaded interceptions. And I think we're going to capitalize on those mistakes, run the ball with Saquon Barkley, and score. Hold that time of possession and score. So 23-17, I predict the New York Giants going. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. Make sure you guys pick up the merch on the way out. And I'll see you guys in the next video.